There is no place like home, or there is no place like our Assassin's Creed Valhalla settlement that we will discuss today, friends, in a video that I really hope you'll enjoy. So welcome back, Assassin's Creed fans, to a new Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay trailer breakdown in which we will talk about everything we know so far regarding Eivor's settlement in the upcoming Assassin's Creed video game. Basically, we will analyze our settlement in general, how we will upgrade it, and obviously together we will try to uncover the Assassin's Creed Valhalla buildings that we will be able to construct while expanding our Vikings territories. Again, we will start with a small shout out to all subscribers and a very big thank you for your support on all my Assassin's Creed Valhalla videos. If you missed them, you can check them out using the links in the description below. So thank you for all your comments, support and likes. Last but not least, let's not forget the latest subscribers: Peter Pinto, Crosby Lima, Greta, Mia P and Odin. Yes, even Odin is subscribed to this channel. Welcome guys, and I really hope you enjoy your stay. Alright then, back to our Assassin's Creed Valhalla village, or settlement, or Eivor's headquarters if you like. Let's see what we can expect from Ubisoft. The first question we are going to answer is also the most common one. What is the Assassin's Creed Valhalla settlement and why do we need it? Luckily for us, the answer to this question comes from Darby McDavid and his interview for the official PlayStation magazine. As you can see, Eivor settlement is a hub, or the central piece of our Viking community, the village we need to take care of. To answer the second part of the question, why do we need it? Well, we have to understand the main reason why the Vikings invaded Great Britain in the first place, and this answer comes from history, which tells us they were looking for land in order to expand. There are obviously other reasons as well, but their ultimate goal was to expand their territories. Great Britain, in this case, was the perfect country for them because, unlike Scandinavian countries, Great Britain had fertile land for farming. So right now we know that we will have at least one settlement to take care of in the video game. So let's go over all Assassin's Creed Valhalla buildings that have been confirmed so far by various sources, directly or indirectly. From Darby McDavid's interview we saw earlier, we can learn that our settlement in Great Britain will have a blacksmith, a stable and also farms. Let's begin with the blacksmith. Although we have discussed the weapons in the previous video I have uploaded, it's worth mentioning that all weapons can be extensively upgraded, which means that the blacksmith plays a key role when we talk about the Assassin's Creed Valhalla gear. Basically, the blacksmith will help us keep Eivor and our Vikings well equipped by upgrading their weapons and armor. The Assassin's Creed Valhalla blacksmith, however, is not new, because we can remember that we had blacksmith in most video games of the franchise. The Assassin's Creed Valhalla stable is also an important building because it will most likely allow us to change our mounts. It is unclear right now if mounts can be upgraded, but we do know that we have at least two types of mounts, horses and wolves, the latter being confirmed by the pre-order bonus. Just like the blacksmith, this type of building is not new for an Assassin's Creed video game. Farms, on the other hand, are new, and although we do not know if we can directly interact in the farming process, we do know that they exist thanks to Darby McDavid, and history tells us that the Vikings were very interested in farming. The farms and what they produce remains to be seen, but we can safely assume that the products they'll provide will not only allow us to keep our Vikings well fed, but also earn in-game currency or other resources using the trading system that was also confirmed. We will talk about the trading in Assassin's Creed Valhalla in one of the future videos, so make sure you hit the subscribe button if you wish to learn more about it. So, these are the three types of buildings that have been confirmed by Darby McDavid alone. If we move to the game's official page on Ubisoft.com, we can learn that in our settlement we will also be able to build barracks and a tattoo parlor. The barracks is also a new type of building we'll be able to get in the upcoming Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and according to the same source, it allows us to get better troops when we upgrade it. However, if we scroll down a bit on the page, we can learn that we will also have mercenary Vikings we can share online to help other players. By doing that, we can get our hands on more resources, and we can also recruit mercenaries to aid Eivor while riding. This feature will most likely be available at the barracks and will become a key building when we plan our future raids. Finally, we have the tattoo parlor that allows us to customize Eivor's tattoos. If you watch the Vikings TV series, you may remember that most Vikings had a lot of tattoos on their bodies and even heads. The tattoos depicted various connections to gods, such as Ragnar's tattoos showing Odin's ravens. In the second Assassin's Creed Valhalla trailer, we can see that Eivor has some cats on his chest. This tattoo represents a connection with one of the Norse gods we have discussed in one of my videos. Feel free to check the link in the description if you wish to watch it. Obviously, the Assassin's Creed Valhalla tattoo parlor is something worth keeping an eye on, and even though we do not know how it will work at this point, we can imagine that it will be similar to the character customization from the recent Nioh 2 video game, for example. Okay, so right now we have 5 different types of buildings we have managed to identify. Let's see what else we can find. Well, if we check Ashraf Ismail Twitter account, we can learn that our Assassin's Creed Valhalla settlement will also have a dock where we can fish, an activity we already discussed in last week's video. But at the dock we can do more than that, such as customizing our longships maybe. The customization of our longship clearly exists, since the Assassin's Creed Valhalla Ultimate Pack comes with a beautiful Berserker longship pack, as you can see. It remains to be seen if changing the aspect of our longship requires a dock or not, but the building itself will most likely be available in our settlement. Speaking of Assassin's Creed Valhalla Ultimate Pack, we can also notice that it includes the Berserker Settlement Pack. A closer look at the content reveals a series of totems and worshipping places for various Norse gods. We can see a tree similar to Yggdrasil, a wooden statue showing Freyr, and several wooden totems for other gods. If you remember from my Assassin's Creed Valhalla video in which we have identified the Norse gods, they will play an important role in the game, and the content from the Berserker Settlement Pack not only confirms the information from my video, but also shows some cosmetic structures we will be able to place in our settlement. Last but not least, we have the core of our settlement, which is the meat hall or feasting hall. We can clearly see it in the second trailer, and it will obviously be the most important Assassin's Creed Valhalla building, because this is where Eivor will be able to meet the war chiefs, plan his next attacks, and why not relax and engage in fighting and drinking games, as we have discussed in the Assassin's Creed Valhalla activities video. Okay, so as we can see, we have a lot of buildings in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and upgrading them will not be easy. Thus, we will need a lot of resources, which brings us to the next question: how we will be able to upgrade our buildings in Assassin's Creed Valhalla? The answer to this important question comes again from Darby McDavid, who explains that in order to get the resources required for upgrades, we have 2 options. We can choose to raid settlements and plunder them, or we can close alliances and engage in trading. Pretty straightforward if you ask me, although I have no doubt that a lot of resources will also be offered as quest rewards. Great, now, so what should we expect to see in our settlement? Well, this is my favorite part, because by investing time and resources in our village, we will be able to see it grow. And according to McDavid, new settlers will arrive, some of them providing new services and even quests. Finally, the settlement is the place where most story quests will start, and the place where we will always return, because we need to make decisions to help our settlers, and we also need to keep them happy. In return, they will share their stories, their services, and why not some rewards. Exciting, right? So let me know, what do you think about this new approach Ubisoft is preparing for us in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, about the buildings we have identified, and what are your expectations. Last but not least, supporting this video with a like and subscribing to my channel would mean a lot, and I want to thank you again for that. Until next time, stay safe.